Aita for reporting my classmates for joking that I have pretty privilege? Background. I'm F23, one of only a few female students in a male-dominated course. Furthermore, I am at a highly prestigious university and I haven't really gotten along with the guys on my course. They are all very competitive and I just don't really enjoy their company. Everything turns into a pissing contest, and they definitely take me less seriously because I'm a woman. I stopped interacting with them beyond the mere minimum and choose to hang out with other people. Anyway, I did well in our recent exams. I topped 2 out of 4 exams we had so far. Our professor congratulated me during class. I wouldn't have advertised this myself. Ever since then, my interactions with a specific group of male classmates have gotten weird. They're now outright rude and challenge me aggressively in class discussions. We recently had some presentations and one of them chose to do theirs on, to put it simply, pretty privilege. They specifically pointed to 2 papers that suggested that pretty female students get overscored in assessments. The other guys in the group snickered and one even gave me a wink. Afterwards, I heard them in the hallway joking that they had experience with that themselves. I've been seeing a PhD student within our department for a month. He has literally nothing to do with our course. Well, we ran into one of my course mates A together. The next day in class, his friend B asked me if my boyfriend helped me with exams. He said this intentionally loudly and in front of the professor, who heard this. I replied that I don't have a boyfriend, 'cause he's not my BF. But then B pointed out that he had run into me with the PhD student, making a point to say his name. The professor knows him. I just replied that we're only friends. They didn't let up. I heard that they discussed this thing in 2 more classes, in earshot of the professors. Both times they suggested I got help for my exams. I wasn't even seeing him then. I didn't confront them, but this has been causing me so much anxiety. Even without the exam accusations, I worked hard to get here and I don't want to be known among the faculty for my dating life. I raised this issue with my supervisor, without the intention of taking it any further, but I wanted her advice as a woman in academia. She convinced me to let her email their supervisors, to remind them of proper conduct, and describe their treatment of an unnamed female student. She didn't name me, but they figured it out. They confronted me after class and asked me why I would report their silly joke. Apparently, their supervisors are now very cold towards them and less interested in helping. It's not a formal complaint. Only their supervisors know, but one of them, C, said his supervisor writes the reports for his financial aid, scholarship, and it was my fault if he lost out on that. I now feel a bit embarrassed, and this was compounded by a friend telling me I took it too far 'cause C shouldn't lose out on his scholarship. So, Reddit. Aita? Edit, grammar. Welcome to r. Am I the asshole? Please view our voting guide here. https://www.reddit.com/r/amethiasshole/wiki/fact#wiki_what.2019s_with_with_they_main.3f closing parenthesis comma and remember to use only one asterisk judgment in your comment. Op has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. And GT. I complained about classmates joking about me having pretty privilege to my supervisor who notified their supervisor, and now one might lose a scholarship due to less favorable reports. Help keep the sub engaging. Don't downvote assholes. Do upvote interesting posts. Click here for our rules. https://www.reddit.com/r/amethiasshole/about/rules closing parenthesis and click here for our FAQ. https://www.reddit.com/r/amethiasshole/wiki/fact closing parenthesis. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. https://www.reddit.com/message/compose/question mark 2 /r/AmItheAsshole if you have any questions or concerns. Contest mode is 1.5 hours long on this post. NTA any retaliation should also be reported. They're angling for some big problems if they keep this up. Also, I commend your courage in defending yourself. That takes tenacity. Also, if C loses any financial aid, he lost it himself with his actions. He's now trying to emotionally blackmail you into taking your accusation back. Don't let them win. Also, I said this in my comment, but their false claims of her possibly cheating could have resulted in not just revocation of scholarships but full-blown expulsion. I'm also just so sick of people implying that a woman who does well must have had some kind of help from a man in her life. When my book was published, a friend of ours turned to my husband during the book launch and casually asked if he had helped me with XYZ aspect of the book. That must have been your influence. My husband was appalled and offended on my behalf and said, no, I had nothing to do with writing Boudica's book. She wrote her book herself. It was specifically a feminist book, too, in part about women authors being celebrated for their work instead of having it attributed to the men in their lives *. So the irony was just extra gross all around. I really hope you mean ex-friend. Because gross. She did better than them, their little egos can't handle it. Gosh. Op was only joking. Can't these dudes take a joke? It's a joke, not a dick. They don't have to take it so hard. They sound jealous that no one likes them enough to help them, unless it's mandated. Even if said PhD student would help Op with some classes, she would still have to take the exams alone. So, what loops they have to jump through to justify their own subpar abilities when comparing their progress with Op. Maybe if they were as committed to studying as they are to why Op outperforms them, they would not have to deal with such cold behavior from their supervisors. Though obviously there'd be fewer chances to not do their work and blame the results on someone who does. NTA. They know what they're doing because jokers like this have been doing it for years. Undermine your accomplishments, question your abilities, and then act shocked when you stand up for yourself. I'm happy, and somewhat surprised, that the faculty and administration is treating this as seriously as it deserves. No light te bastardes carborundorum. It's mainly my awesome supervisor. Probs wouldn't have been supported by one of the many old men in the faculty. Most likely because she has lived it and been ignored or told she was making trouble. Keep making waves. That is the only way things change. NTA. Tell them maybe people would be more motivated to help them if they smiled more. I would have gone with a very loud in front of the whole class. Are you saying that your grades are so low because of how ugly you are? That's not right. You should report that. You know, if it were me and I was a female. It's tough to pull off bitingly bitchy when you've got a beard and are built like a fire plug. The thing is that women almost never win when making comments like this. Humiliated, nasty men just find new, more direct ways of putting women down. All of that said, your comment is hilarious. Yep. Or if they don't have a comeback, or even if they just have a temper, it can get aggressive quickly. Men like this do not react kindly to being bested by women, and their behavior so far really displays that. When they make any comeback after saying something like this, what's worked really well for me is to react like they're fragile and I'm concerned. A lot of monotone woes, calm downs, and asking them if they're going to be okay. You know, the shit they say to women when we react to anything. They usually quiet down. An STFU. This was literally the only desolation tactic that ever worked for me when working at a gas station for half a decade that didn't involve me just shutting down and giving in. If I ever was snappy, on it with comebacks, or able to succinctly call out bad behavior, that just triggered them more. Instead, I'd just disarm them in seconds by acting like I was deeply concerned for their mental health and trying to help walk them through such aggressive, overwhelming and confusing emotions with the vague air of calming down a toddler having a temper tantrum. It brings me such petty, passive-aggressive pleasure just even typing that out, but at best, this method usually just makes them taken aback and thrown off their stride just enough to get them out the door and gone, and at worst, the harassment just continues as it would have anyways. Oh no, are you okay? You seem to be getting very emotional about this. Do you need to sit down? Is my go-to. Needs to be pulled off with innocent concern though, any hint of sarcasm just fuels the mantrum. And GT, mantrum love it. Stealing this sparkling heart. Actually, it would work best coming from you. If a woman snaps back, boys like this count it as a win for getting under their skin. If another guy, someone they consider a peer, calls them out on their misogyny, it has a higher chance of actually penetrating the cloud of Axe body spray they think is a substitute.